right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good? Welcome to the live stream. It is Wall Street Wednesday. Wall Street double whammy Wednesday. Because we had PPI, core PPI at 7:30. Let me just make sure we're on the right time here. PPI, core PPI at 7:30. And we have federal funds rate at 1 o'clock. And then the press conference at 1:30. So lots of stuff going on today. Probably a heavily manipulated day, I would say. So we'll get into it. What's good? 2020 admin Willow. Willow, congrats on another banger day. Lots of winning over here. You gotta love that. Felix 2. What's good? One of our newer members. Scott, Eberneth, Torty, Slowly, Julius, Scapolis, Eric, Zan, Nick, and anybody else. Austin Power here. What? Akinola, what's good? Price action wise, I don't have a lot for you. But I guess we can have a brief discussion on I really don't even know what to call this, honestly. I don't even know what to title something like this. When it comes to waiting for that low or high to be set, what do y'all like to see, especially in these choppy conditions? Quotations around choppy. Stuff like this, where it will trade under a low, give us some wickage. Not this. So we don't make a lower low on S&P, and Dow Jones is just pure. I was going to say the C word, but I can't because for reasons that you guys probably will see in our Discord. So I got to be a little bit more sensitive, chat. I got to stop saying retard too, but you know, one step at a time, baby. One step at a time. What's good? Ferrero Rocher. But yeah, I like seeing when a low is swept and then maybe another index or whatever peer it is to not do that. I think that shit is fucked up. Oh, there we go. Does that make sense? Who asked that? Does that make sense, Julius? So what I can tell you though is trading in these conditions is not the greatest. Look at our daily time frame. Look at this, bro. Look at this. This is that barcode price action. Right? When you do self-checkout at the self-checkout register or whatever, and you look for that little barcode to scan your item, that's what this is. It's not the greatest conditions, obviously. To me, they are really, really good for reversals. And, you know, I taught you guys how to do this already. How to trade in consolidations. You basically trade below old lows, or you wait for that to be taken, and then, you know, you play the other direction. Back into the range. Or maybe try to short above highs and go back into the range. Right? You can see what today's done. Based on the daily candle for Wednesday, we traded higher. We took out Tuesday's high. Went up to Thursday the 12th. Right? That lack of wick there, the no shirt candle basically. Probably traded into some other gaps as well. Whole lot of gaps over here. And then now we're lower. So I think that is what Willow was trading this morning up in here. Bro was up at 5 a.m. Like David Goggins, bro. Willow Goggins over here. I guess that's what happens when you have, you know, new infants and you're up all night and you can trade stuff like that, which is cool. So maybe, maybe not. Willow, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That's just what I'm guessing. You know? Bro's changing diapers at 5 a.m. and then making $1,000 before equities open. Man, I got the best students, bro. I got the best titles to the streams. No fucking doubt about that. And I have some mega monster students. 100%. What's good, Pop? Thoughts on the dollar? Yes. But at the same time, I don't know. We have some clean lows from London. And then we have a very small set of lows in here as well at 99. Well, you can read that. But it's there. He's an early bird. Yeah, absolutely. That is how it should be. Well, you guys wouldn't be here if I didn't make monsters. If you guys didn't learn, if you didn't do well, you wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I don't know what to expect. See, here's the thing, like, what my mind goes to is a sell model, right? Original consolidation. We leave it back into it here, right? So basically bullish until manipulation. So we could probably take that high and then, you know, get our sell side of the curve after that. But you got to check your calendars, right? We have FOMC statement. So that's either going to be the catalyst to do that, or we get something completely different. And then if it doesn't do what I expected to do, then it's probably not something that, well, I definitely don't trade the dollar index, but if you're going to use that for like an inverse for the indices, or as an inverse for the euro, right? Like if we're going to be bearish on the dollar, we could be bullish on foreign currencies. But again, if it doesn't do something like that, then that's it. He said, you talk a lot. Yes, I do, buddy. I'm just kidding. You talk a lot on time. You give a lot of good examples on the right time. Of course I do. It's all algorithmic, baby. I teach you a lot about the algorithm, dog. That's what these markets run on. Can you talk a little about some bad times for note-taking purposes? I don't know. I don't think I've been asked to teach something like that before. Right setup, wrong time, I guess. I think your journal would teach you a lot about that. He said FOMC is fear of missing Chad. You know, that's almost as bad as turning my charts chat into a Reddit forum, which is what you guys did today. But I'm giving you a pass. I'm giving you a pass. Willow and some others. I'm giving you a pass because you had a good conversation. It wasn't some nonsense. That's the only reason you get a pass. There was a lot of value in there. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna take away the value because it's value first, right? People over profit. So that's the only reason you get a pass. The only reason. But don't let it happen again. He said I was waiting for that. Yeah. It's not just price that's predictable. Capitalist. My bad about that. Now I know for next time. It's fine. It's fine. In like all actuality, bro, it really doesn't bother me. It doesn't. It's just when I designed the Discord, that's kind of, that was the intention I had behind it. Like, oh, have all the conversation you want in the general chat, and you can even talk about stuff outside of trading. It's a general chat. You talk about whatever you want. And the charts chat was, you know, more for obviously posting charts as a number one, and then you know, asking chart related questions and stuff like that. I don't want the charts chat to be full of text when people go in there to try to scroll and look at people's charts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But with the way Discord works, I can't prevent you from doing that. Because if I said, okay, you can't send messages, only post files, then you can only post charts, and that's going to be very limiting. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. You know? You have to trust that people will follow the rules. So, yeah. Anyways, we need to get into what I want to talk about today. And I guess we'll just watch NQ for now. So it's definitely going to be more of a discussion kind of day. So that's what I have for you. Before we get into it, let me tell you what I said on my Instagram story today. Because I don't know what it is about Instagram. Instagram sucks now, but most people just don't watch stories anymore. So let me tell you something. This is what I said today, about an hour ago. I said, I don't care how much you want to pay me for one-on-one time. Keep your money. I don't care what kind of business you can run, I don't care what kind of business you run that can help me get more views or whatever, sell, you know, high ticket shit. I don't care about any of that. Go talk to somebody else. I don't care what edits you made or what thumbnails you made for my YouTube channel or my Instagram post. Keep it. Go ask somebody else. Then I said, money cannot solve everything. You can't eat money for dinner. You can't drink money if you're thirsty. By the way, I just got 3 cases of Icelandic. Good luck finding that in Houston. You can, however, use money as a tool to get things that you would like. But inner discipline and mindset cannot be fixed entirely with money. That requires real work money cannot touch. Money may influence those things to a degree, but a rich person can still be stupid, fat, lazy, and unhappy. Courage cannot be bought. Consistency cannot be bought. Virtues cannot be bought. So it's not always a matter of throwing money at some problem. Look inward for your issues. Inward issues can't be fixed by external pieces of paper. Focus on what your problem really is, why you have it or them, and then put your plan together and follow it. So that was kind of like a mini rant that I had earlier today. Because that's the thing. People outside of trading, like business-wise, people hit me up all the time. Oh, I made this thumbnail for you. I took your video, made these edits, you know, all this shit. I don't care about none of that. All right? I still have people that ask me for one-on-ones, and I tell everybody the same answer. No. Keep your money. I don't care. However much you want to try to pay me, I'm not taking it. Okay? I'm here on YouTube for free 3 hours a week. It was 4 hours a week for like the last 2 years or longer. Now it's 3 times a week because Fridays are member-only videos or member-only live streams. You can become a member for like $25 a month. A month. And that gives you, I don't know how many streams that is. 2 a week, or no, 4 a week for 4 weeks. That's like 16 streams a month. You can ask me anything you want. You don't need to pay anything more than that, ever. Okay? But anyway, I get asked all the time to do one-on-ones. And there is a very specific reason why I've made certain videos. For example, Willow brought this up the other day in our chat. He said that basically everything that you need is in the heavy hitters playlist. Okay, the 48 laws of trading. It's a free video. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes. The following 2, they are members only, but there are 2 more master classes. One of them is called The Obstacle is the Way, a trading mindset masterclass. It's 1 hour and 52 minutes, and a masterclass on market maker models. That's purely technical analysis, I believe. But anyway, that middle one, The Obstacle is the Way, a trading mindset discussion. Okay, that I made specifically because a lot of people still come to me with a lot of issues, mainly like discipline, over trading, over leveraging, stuff like that. Where in the Discord can I find all the laws? I don't know. I do not know. Give me a second. I thought we pinned it somewhere. Maybe I didn't. I thought I did. Well, if I cannot find it, I will post it again after this live stream. It's in the general chat somewhere. Anyway, I'll look for it later. But we'll get it to you. We'll get it to you later. You know what? I don't think I have it anymore, but The Obstacle is the Way masterclass, I should make that a PDF as well. But do I really want to work, though? Do I really want to work, chat? No, I know. But I'm saying all of it. I really see, that's the thing, bro. I don't want to make PDFs because I want you guys to take your own notes. If you just have the PDF, like, I mean, yeah, it does. I think it's a good service to you, but that just makes you lazy versus writing out your own notes. That's what you should do. One of my favorite videos. Which one, Willow? The Obstacles the Way masterclass. I probably should have kept that one free, but I don't care. I do not care. All right. So this is like an untitled discussion, honestly. Mindset is what I struggled with the longest, so I got a special appreciation for that type of content. That's what I needed most. Yeah. Again, dude, again, it comes back to the basics. The successful traders trio. There's 3 things every trader needs for success. Your edge, your strategy, buy low, sell high. Your money management / risk management. Small wins, big losses. Oh shit, don't do that. Small losses, big wins. And your trading psychology, which is the discipline, the mindset to implement the things that you need. Okay. Anyway, back to my point. So someone asked me earlier, they wanted a one-on-one. And I'm not gonna obviously read out to you this whole thing, but basically they're overtrading. They're taking way too many trades. Okay. So one thing that I would say, I actually told them that I personally would stop trading for the next 2 weeks minimum. Just stop trading, period, altogether. No more trades, period. No demo, no reel, no paper, no combine, no challenge, no nothing. Just no trades whatsoever. Log out of everything. No trades. Okay, yeah, so stop trading the next 2 weeks. I mean, it could be longer than that, obviously. But the reason that I'm telling you that is because if you know that you're not trading, right? And it's just like the weekend. If you know that you're not trading, your focus is not going to be on, oh, am I losing? Am I winning? You know, am I going to break even? You know, this, that, and the third. So your focus is able to go on what you've been doing wrong, and your focus will be able to move over into reflection. I spent hours watching your videos about mitigation. I think mitigation is the most disciplined and powerful model. Well, all the models are powerful. Everything based on MMXM is powerful. Getting it right is what makes it powerful. Being on side with the price delivery algorithm is what's powerful. All right, so the first thing I have for you is to stop rushing, okay? So that's number 1, stop rushing. And I want to show you a couple different things. This is one of them. I posted something like this the other day. And this is right out of my journal, by the way. Or, sorry, not journal, calendar. See that? This is right out of my planner / calendar. And it's at the very, it's one of the first few pages in the front. And it has this for every year. Like 2026 is right there. And then I had to crop out 2027 because we don't need that. Strictly 2026. That's what it looks like in a broad overview, right? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? This is our year. This is broken down into quarters, right? The first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Just like in sports, right? This is where we're at. Today's the 18th, right? March 18th. We're right here. And so you can see January's behind, February's behind, and we're like 2/3 of the way done with March almost. So what you have to realize, bro, is we have a lot of time. We have a lot of time. And you need to stop trying to be successful so quickly. That's what damages people. This is why since the beginning, specifically for traders, but I think this kind of fits for a lot of other things too. But a lot of the self-help gurus, personal development gurus, will all tell you to put a date on success. And I've really never agreed with that. You know, oh, I want to make this much money by this date, or I want to lose this much weight by this date and stuff like that. I've never believed in that. Never. Because, and I talk about this all the time, but the pressure that people put on themselves is what causes you to make mistakes. It forces you to make mistakes. And then what inevitably happens, I got another image for you. What inevitably happens is you don't get the results that you want very quickly. And you end up basically quitting in this period that James Clear calls the valley of disappointment. Okay, so this is directly from Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a wonderful book. If you have not read it, you should. You should read it. So the results that you want, right? The results scale and the time scale. What you think should happen is, I guess, this line here. And what actually happens is this line here. So what you'll notice, based on this idea from Clear, is a lot of time here in the beginning. You see what actually happens, the results that you want, you really don't get results in the beginning. That line is flat here. You notice that? Right? Everybody knows how to do technical analysis here, right? Look at that. There's no results for some time. We don't know how much time this is. You know, it's not measured in days or years or anything, but you get the idea, right? Drop a 1 if you guys get the idea here. It's flatlined. There are no results. Then you start getting a little bit of results, and a little bit, and a little bit, and a little bit, and then eventually, down the road, it is exponential. What's good, Roberto? A little late. Yeah, we know. We know we're halfway done with the stream, big dog. It's all good, though. But what traders, right? We all get into trading to make money, right? And the problem is, you want this, right? You want the results that are up here without the time that it takes over here, right? Very similar to the FAFO scale, right? The more you F around, the more you're going to find out, right? I believe that's linear. The results that you want are not, okay? So again, you want results that are up here in a time that you are trying to rush. That doesn't work for everybody. It might work for a few people. And it also depends on like what it is. I can't broadly say that everything won't work by rushing, but you know, I've mentored thousands and thousands of students all over the earth from probably 80% of the countries on this planet. Okay, I've talking to a lot of people. I've read a lot of books. All right, and trust me, I think rushing your goals, especially trading, Jorks, what's good? Rushing success is a hindrance to your performance. It hurts you more than it helps you. That's what I believe. Okay, that's what you gotta stop doing. You have to stop rushing, because you're going to live a lot of your time in that valley of disappointment. That's when people quit. You quit trading because you can't pass a combine, or you quit trading because you can't get your win rate up, or you just constantly fall in this revenge trading habit, right? Or you keep blowing accounts and blowing accounts and blowing accounts, and you say, okay, well, this is bullshit and this sucks. So you quit. So that's part of it. All right. So number one, stop rushing. I showed you the calendar. Take a broader view, bro. And that's just 1 year. That's not an entire lifespan, right? And then I showed you the Valley Disappointment. So number two is what's slow will grow, what's fast doesn't last. I know one of you said that earlier. We say that a lot. I can't remember if that was Jim Rohn or the Trade House or Zig Ziglar. I don't know who that was, who made that. I have no idea. I would give them credit if I knew who it was. I don't. But it's actually pretty biblical too. It goes all the way back to like Proverbs something. Money gained hastily dwindles, and whoever gathers little by little will see it grow. So it's also a biblical principle as well. So interesting. Can you share about a time when you rushed your goals? I would say at least one example of doing that was a few years ago when I tried to do basically what I'm doing now, as far as like eating right, working out, and losing weight. Basically, I tried to do it too fast and would get, discouraged that I wasn't getting those results, and I wasn't putting in what the fuck is this? I wasn't giving it the proper amount of time, and I just kept going back to, the old habits. All right, got to hit up the taco truck. You know what I mean? Got to go get the burgers and fries and whatever else. Man, I've worked hard for like 3 days. I deserve a greasy cheeseburger. You know what I mean? And would fall back into that, thinking that like one meal's not gonna make a difference, or a couple of days is not gonna make a difference, and the next thing you know, oh shit, man, it's been 90 days and I weigh more now than when I started. Like, damn, So I think what I was doing was not making it the highest priority. I kept saying that's what I wanted, right? I kept telling myself, yeah, that's what I wanted, but then I focused on other things instead. So it never worked. Or it worked for a little bit, and then I'd go back to where I was. But now, because it's been months, because I have slowly shifted, I made that video already, the getting rid of Tide Pods and doing the clean people, getting rid of Old Spice deodorant for native deodorant, swapping over from like Hanes draws to organic cotton draws, and just a bunch of other stuff. Sodas to Olipop. I used to drink a lot of the ice carbonated water, swap that for Icelandic and sometimes Evian, right? And it's making those small changes in a bunch of areas, of course. And yeah, I went from, I didn't weigh myself at the beginning of this year. I knew I was not where I wanted to be. My best guess, in all honesty, I want to say I was probably 205, maybe 205, 203. I started back on my, health and wellness journey here, weight loss journey, whatever you want to call it. And eventually I weighed at 200 even. And I was happy because I wasn't beyond 200. I was like, okay, this is great, but I'm going to keep going. And as of not yesterday, but the day before yesterday, I clocked in at 190. So I would say I'm down from anywhere from 10 to maybe like 15 pounds. And it's great. I can tell, a lot of other people can tell, and it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to be healthy. You know what I mean? When the clothes aren't suffocating you anymore. You know what I mean? Clothes fit well. You have energy, You come in here and start trading like a fucking monster, It's awesome. It's wonderful. But yeah, I would say rushing those things, it didn't work, you know? So I'm not just like speaking on like, oh yeah, this is a cool book that I read and you should read it. And that's it. Like, nah, bro. I speak from experience. I speak from experience. And not just my own, but other people's experience too. You can learn a lot in life by watching the wrong people. You can learn exactly what not to do by following people who don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Would you hire a fucking Blueberry to, as your personal trainer? Would you hire a broke person to teach you about finance? I wouldn't. You're gonna be fatter than me teaching me how to eat right? What is that? You know? Or you're broke, you have less money than me, but you're gonna teach me about finances? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So that is a good segue into what else I had for you, and I'm all out of order over here, but there's really no order anyway. So, but let's talk about this. The point is, with the Valley Disappointment, right? Giving stuff time. Watch this. I'm gonna read directly because we still got about 20 minutes until, what was it, FOMC? Yeah, we still have like 20 minutes until Fed funds rate, so we got a little bit more time. I'm gonna read to you directly from Atomic Habits for just a second. And I didn't put a bookmark on the page that I wanted, so we have to look for it now. Okay. If you have Atomic Habits, it's on page 18. It's roughly that middle paragraph. Watch this. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits and probably working out as well. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat. If you want to predict where you'll end up in life, all you have to do is follow the curve of tiny gains or tiny losses and see how your daily choices will compound 10 or 20 years down the line. Are you spending less than you earn each month? Are you making it to the gym each week? Are you reading books and learning something new each day? Tiny battles like these are the ones that will define your future self. Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. Pretty good stuff, I must say. Pretty good stuff. And then here's one more I'll give you, because I'm not going to give you everything. But here's one more. And this is kind of a corollary. It's kind of a ripoff of another ancient quote, but it's fine. He said, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Did you catch that? You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So if you are constantly over leveraging, if you are constantly taking too many trades, if you're, taking, there's not really a number because I think it's different for everybody, but I think a solid baseline is anything more than 5 in a day, you're probably overtrading. Anything more than 5, you're probably overtrading. For me, it's about 3. If I trade like a 4th and a 5th time, that's usually probably not great. In a day, at least. You know what I mean? So you have to take an honest look at yourself. And you have to look at what you're doing wrong. And figure out, why are you doing that? Why are you over leveraging? Why are you over trading? or what? And I don't know what that is for you because everybody's different. So far I've said to stop rushing. I gave you the calendar, the broad view of 2026 and where we are. We're not even a third of the way or 1/4 of the way done yet. We still have a lot more to go. We talked a little bit about being 1% better every day, and I showed you the chart from, not that chart. I showed you the chart from Atomic Habits, right? It's on page 22 if you need it, and the valley of disappointment, and that you don't get results in the beginning, but you do, if you do the right shit, of course, you do get results after a long period of time. You can't, force yourself out of this valley of disappointment. Putting dates on success is putting too much pressure on most people. Okay, most people just can't do it. So I don't recommend to do that. We talked about how your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits, financially, physically, mentally, whatever, all that stuff. And that we don't rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the level of our systems. So what type of system are you utilizing? If you are trading without a trade plan, you're fucking up. If you don't know your max risk for the day, you're fucking up. If you don't know your max risk for the week, fucking up. You get me? Drop some twos if you guys are with me so far. So the last thing for today, let me close this. Drop a 2 if you guys understand so far. Or if at least if you learned something today so far. I know technicals, we haven't done a lot. But it is what it is. Dollar index. Ugh. Just to show you real quick, these are those lows I was talking about. It's very small time frame, but they're there. And this is where price is at. There is another book I've been reading recently. I think it's okay. I am not finished with it. I'm on page 72. So I've only read like maybe 1/4 of this book. I don't get the hype around it, but it's called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, Wiest, Wiest. Oh, who fucking knows? But it's called The Mountain Is You. Okay. And there's a couple good quotes in here I'll share with you real quick. It's a little new agey, I'll be honest. It's also written like a Twitter article. It's written just very, instead of long paragraphs, they're just like a machine gun of smaller paragraphs. It's very annoying. It takes up so much space, and that's why they do that shit. You have 250 pages in this book. It could have easily been half that. But small books don't sell as much, right? Anyway, sometimes our most sabotaging behaviors are really the result of long-held and unexamined fears we have about the world and ourselves. Your life is defined not only by what you think about it, but also what you think of yourself. If you think of yourself as a failure, remember we talked about identity the last few days? If you have that identity that you're a failure, you will continue to fail. And again, that's why I said this stuff's kind of like new agey. It's not the greatest, but whatever. It does not serve us to use endless affirmations to placate our true feelings about where we are in our journey. When we do this, we start disassociating and get stuck. So I'm proud of that. She kind of like knocks affirmations. So I was like, you get a gold star for that. But I think her point is that people use affirmations to suppress or to cover the true feelings about where we are in our journey, or maybe even how they feel about themselves, right? If your affirmation is, I'm successful, but you're not successful, like, it's a lie, basically. And I just don't see, you look all throughout history, and I just don't see how lying to yourself has ever worked out in the end. It's just never worked out. The first step in healing anything is taking full accountability. The first step in healing anything is taking full accountability. I guess we can do this one. Human beings are guided by comfort. They stay close to what feels familiar and reject what doesn't, even if it's objectively better for them. Does it feel comfortable to go break even? Yes, it does. Does it feel uncomfortable to hold trades? Think about that. Are you uncomfortable holding a trade for a long time? I'm actually asking you this, chat. Yes or no? Do you feel uncomfortable when you hold a trade longer than usual? Does that make you uncomfortable? Sometimes it does. Sometimes not. Sometimes yeah, sometimes no. I think if you're in a big ass position, I think so. I used to, but I'm getting so much better at it, at holding. Okay. Depending on the situation. Yeah, unless I'm break even, right? Of course. Of course. All right, I'll give you a couple more. Sometimes we make choices because we don't know how to make better ones, or that anything else is even possible. Sometimes we run our lives on autopilot for so long enough that we begin to think we no longer have a choice. Yeah. I find myself closing early before targets are reached many times. Yeah. That's exactly what you should put in a journal. I've done it too. Sometimes I still do. It do be like that. All right, watch this. This sort of comes back to what we were talking about earlier, how you shouldn't rush and you should take your time and get incrementally better every single day. Watch this. Instead of shocking yourself into big changes, allow yourself to slowly adjust and adapt. By taking it slow, you are allowing yourself to gradually reinstate a new comfort zone around what you want your life to be. Over time, you gradually shift your baseline to a new standard. That's probably the best quote I've come across so far in this book. Because I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but if you actually change your diet, if you change the things that you eat and the things that you drink, right? If you change that abruptly, your body will respond. Your brain responds too. Have you guys ever done that where you tried, let's say, cutting sugar out of your diet, and then all of a sudden you keep getting headaches. You haven't had headaches or migraines in a long ass time, but as soon as you start cutting out sugar, your ass got a headache. Has that ever happened to you? Yes or no? Withdrawal symptoms happens to alcoholics. It happens to drug addicts. It happens to pretty much anybody, because that's how humans work. That's how our bodies work. Our bodies get used to certain things, like junk food, for example. That's why if you eat a lot of junk food, you keep doing it, because your body craves it. Your brain craves it. You need the McDonald's fries or the Wendy's burgers, or whatever. That's why you can't get away from it, because your body keeps wanting it. You try to drink some water and you're like, ugh, this isn't soda. This isn't carbonated with too much sugar. This is nasty. I don't like it. Right, you don't like it because your body is so used to that. The soda, the sugar, the fast food, whatever. And if you cut all of it off immediately, bang, no more, and just straight water, straight healthier stuff, your body will not have a fun time. You will not have a fun time, because your body's not getting what it wants. And it's so aggressive. That's why you get headaches. And that's why you get probably other changes. I'm no doctor or nothing, or nutritionist or no shit like that. But again, speaking from experience, when I cut out sugars, yeah, that's what happened. I got headaches. Yeah, see, that's my point. 2020. I cut out sugar and trans fat for a month, and all the junk food I'd eat. First 2 weeks, I had sudden loss of energy. But after, I had so much energy, it was crazy. Right, exactly. Exactly. That was your body basically readjusting itself. It's not getting what it craves. It's not getting what it's being, what it has been addicted to. But you replace that with something else. That's why, and I don't really recommend to do this, but if you haven't had sugar or trans fats for like a long time, if you go and you try something like that, you're going to go to Wendy's and get a triple baconator, or some bullshit, and you eat it, it won't taste the same. Like, you'll eat it, but you won't have that same memory and the same taste as it was. It'll taste very different, and it'll be weird. It'll be awkward. It's probably the same bullshit oils and grease and all that stuff, but you've changed, and it won't taste good anymore. It'll taste kind of off. So again, I don't recommend to do that if you don't want to, but that's usually what happens. It's kind of like Little Debbie. Even though they changed the ingredients over time, but like even Little Debbie's, if I try Little Debbie right now, I won't like it. I won't like it. It'll be okay, but it'll be nothing like when I was a kid. Or like when I was in the military. It'll be nothing like that at all. And so I don't crave that stuff anymore. I have zero, because the bread at the Kroger that I go to, the bread aisle, at the end of the bread aisle is where the Little Debbie is at. I pass that shit up all the time, and I never stop and I look at it. I never buy that shit because I just don't want it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I feel like that's a good place to end it for today. Did you guys at least get some value today? It was unstructured. I really had no plan on doing any of this until about 30 minutes before the stream. But, if you're in a bad place, you don't change everything all at once. You don't do that. You never do that. Okay? Now, if you're 600 pounds and the doctor's telling you some shit, that's different. Obviously, if it's a medical professional, listen to them, of course. But as far as everything else goes, at least for me, changes are best made small and slowly, and you stack. He talks about habit stacking as well. Slow incremental changes over a long period of time. That's what will help you. So I think we're going to have Fed funds rate here in just a minute, in just a moment. So the forecast was 3.75 and the rate is the same at 3.75. So we'll see see if that does anything here to the markets. Swap between the indices and the dollar index. There's a little cluster of highs up here. And again, the PPI data high is way up there. So we'll give this a minute. Yeah, I talked about stop rushing, showed you the calendar. I showed you the chart from Atomic Habits on getting better, a little bit better every day, that you're not going to get results right away. You want long-term results in a short time span. That doesn't work. So stop doing that. We talked about how your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. We talked about how we don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. So work on your system. Okay. I can't tell which one's higher. But if it's that hard to tell, then that's everyone else is going to view that like equal highs, which means there's going to be stops there. 100%. 100,000 million %. And then I talked a little bit about The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. So there's some good quotes in there. And of course, we covered a little bit on the heavy hitters playlist. More specifically, The Obstacle is the Way. It's an hour and 52 minutes. There's all type of stuff in there, dude. There's like what the problem is, how to fix it, and there's even exercises in there, you know? And guess what? Some of the exercises are read a book. Go read Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. That's one of them, you know? So as a trader, as a mentor, these types of conversations, they are my least favorite. They are my least favorite. But sometimes they are the most important. Okay? I like the technicals. I like the candlesticks. You know, I like going over trades. I like going over bias. I like teaching you stuff. Like yesterday, I taught you the immediate rebalance. Look at that shit right there. See that? There's one. Just on a 5-minute time frame. I mean, nothing crazy. It's hindsight, obviously. But left the highs open, right? Immediate rebalance, lower. Imbalance, lower. Manipulation, right? So, taught you that yesterday, the immediate rebalance. But again, these conversations might be the most beneficial to you. Yeah, it was a long time ago. What I need to do is I need to get Siva back on here. Because a lot of the ideas that I get about health and wellness, they come from Siva or they come from Zach. Because I asked him, I'm like, hey, bro, and I ain't gonna tell you what I ask him, but I ask him certain things. You know, do you use these type of candles? Do you know, what type of air purifier? Do you even use an air purifier? You know, XYZ. I'll ask him stuff. Or sometimes they send me reels, you know, on stuff that I'm looking into. You know what I mean? I have really good fucking friends, dude. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. If there's one thing I have in life, dude, it is some very awesome fucking friends. Your network is your net worth, baby. Just like that guy. I know I said this earlier, and I don't want to come off like an arrogant asshole, but, you know, I got 3 cases of Icelandic. You will not find that here in Houston. You will not find cases of Icelandic in Houston, period. Call all your HEBs. They don't fucking have them. They might have, oh, we got 2 bottles. We got a couple bottles. You ain't finding cases of this shit nowhere. But they're at my house. Now, why is that? Because I got a guy. I have a guy. Now, mind you, I've been waiting like 3 weeks for this shit. Maybe a month now. But I was at Kroger. And I'm getting my ribeye. I'm getting flank steak. I'm getting some other shit. Some avocados. I get a call, missed call from my guy. Called him back. I said, what's good, man? Is this about the water? He's like, yep. He's like, I just got it. I saw it on the truck. It's still on the truck, but if you want it, you can come get it. I said, okay, bet. So I went to where I went to. They not only were there, but he had them in a basket ready to go. He's like, all you got to do is just pay for it. I said, you're the man, bro. You're the man. That's my water connect. So anyway, the point is your network is your net worth, okay? You need to be, we're not even going to look at Dow. You need to be respectful to people. You need to be a good person. You need to be kind, okay? You need to help people out. What you give is what you get, okay? And guess what? When you help other people, you don't expect anything in return. And on the off chance that they do help you later, that's a nice return. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that at all. He could have said, oh, I got 1 case for it. You want 1 case? I can give you 1 case. But no, he's like, you can have as much as you want. I said, bro, I will buy you out. I will buy this whole fucking store right now. Because I think they only have like 5 cases. I'm like, I will buy everything right now. But I said, look, I don't want to be like that. Someone else is probably looking for this. I'm going to leave a couple. No big deal. Okay, I'm not going to clean your clock today. But I'm taking 3. All right? And that's how life works. Okay? You help people, they help you too. People, if you go out of your way for other people will go out of their way for you. Period. All right? So that's one of the secrets. That's one of the things I learned in life. Okay? That's a Substack post, by the way. This will be the last thing, and then we'll hop off here. And we'll probably see continued volatility, especially around this press conference. There's almost always volatility during the press conference. There is, I can't remember which one. I think it's from this one. 32 things I learned by age 32. I'm going to tell you number 18, right? Have a sense of humor and wit. Good communicators, good leaders, good comedians, good teachers, and good friends have at least one thing in common. They have humor and or wit. They can be funny and sarcastic. Yada, yada, yada. That's a good one. Number 12, surround yourself with people who bring out your best. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, said Jim Rohn. Number 30, you reap what you sow. Galatians 6:7, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Right? You get what you give. And, oh, maybe it wasn't that one. Still a good post, though. I think it was 26 rules for life then. Number 15, show appreciation, or at least tell them. I got a story about that too. I'm gonna save that for Friday, unless you want to hear it. 21, be precise in your speech. Number 23, be good. We don't control what other people say or do. We only control ourselves. If you want to be beautiful, make beautiful choices, said Epictetus. Number 26, the very last one, add value to others daily. I don't give value just to you guys. I try to give value to every person I come across. Do you guys want to hear a story? Yes or no? It'll be short. Yes or no, chat? Do you want to hear a very quick story? I try not to tell you like all of this stuff because I really don't want there are just certain things I don't want you guys to know, because it takes the man, I don't know what you call it. Like say good deeds, for example. You will never know about the good deeds that I do because I will absolutely never tell you them. Because if I do, that basically destroys the purpose of doing it. So you'll never know, right? And the stories are kind of the same. Like, I don't want you to know certain things, but I'm willing to give you guys at least a little bit, you know, more, I guess. Okay. If you go to the grocery store, right? The grocery store, no matter which one, Kroger, Sprouts, H-E-B, Randall's, whatever, Whole Foods, XYZ, you name it. When you go in there, right, and you're going to see employees, there's usually people at the meat counter, right, that have the weights and stuff that will give you, you know, fresh fish and all that. Probably not fresh fish, but, you know, all that shit. There's going to be people in every department, and they're going to be like restocking shelves and all that stuff, right? If you walk up to them and you ask them a question, hey, I'm looking for grass-fed beef. Hey, I'm looking for grass-finished beef. This bald guy on YouTube keeps talking about Icelandic water. Do you guys have any Icelandic water? You just ask them a question, spark a conversation, and they love that. People love that. You know why? Because number one, people love talking. Look at me. People love talking, right? Number two, it gives them a break from their work. Oh, yes, I finally get to stop working. I can just talk to this customer for a minute. Just ask them to show you, hey, man, where's the orange juice at? You might know where it is. It's next to the milk, idiot. But you might be like, hey, bro, where's the orange juice at? And they'll walk you over there. And they're happy to do that stuff. All right? Dude, I went into Kroger the other day, and there's this older guy I always see. And I always call people boss. I'm like, yo, what's good, boss? How you doing, boss? You know, it's just a respect thing, right? Try to be a little bit uplifting. And I was just talking to him like, hey, man, when do you guys actually get shipments in? Because I want the fresh ribeye and the fresh, you know, beef and shit. And he was like, oh, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever. And dude, I shit you not, we end up talking for like 20, 30 minutes about steaks, about how he cooks them, about how I cook them, about, you know, the basking, the butter, the rosemary, all this shit. We just start talking about a bunch of bullshit, bro. And that sparks friendships, and it sparks relationships, right? It's not manipulative, okay? It's just, it's being a kind person. You know what I'm saying? And I go there often. People that see me there often, they know who I am. Shit, I'm at the grocery store like 4 times a week. I'm either in there reading or in there, you know, buying shit, whatever. Like, everybody knows who I am. They don't know me. Like, they don't know that I'm John Fib, I'm on YouTube, I'm a trader and all this stuff. They don't know that. But they just know me as the guy who's always in this fucking store. You know? And that, relationships like that, that's how you're going to be able to get the things that you want. You don't think if I ask him to save me a fucking ribeye, he won't do it? You don't think if I go to where I go to for this water, hey man, can you save me a case or two next time you get some? That was weeks ago, and he called me yesterday. I got the case for you. I told one of the other employees not to touch that water. I saved it for you. You don't think people are going to go out of their way for you? They will. They will. I think it was John Maxwell who said, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Having a conversation doesn't involve money. It just involves a few minutes of your time. And you know what? It is unfortunate, but a lot of like middle-aged men that work 40, 50 hours a week, people don't stop and talk to them. People don't compliment them. You know what I'm saying? So you having that 5-minute, 10-minute conversation with that employee, that might make their whole day. You know what I'm saying? That might make their whole day. Now their whole day is brighter because of you. You don't think they're going to go out of their way one day if you ask them to? Man, I'm giving you guys keys like you have no fucking idea. I am giving you keys like you have no idea. No idea. So, anyway, we'll go ahead and shut it down here. Again, the press conference is in about 14 minutes or so, roughly. Every time I listen to him, dude, I just want to fall asleep. I'm not going to do it. I never do it anymore. But watch for the things that we talked about. We still may end up trading higher and then getting a market maker sell model for the lows here and maybe the lows down here. Indices, I really don't know, man. I'm not going to make a prediction for you. I still think there's liquidity up here. I think things are volatile right now. I would suggest not trading today. That's my suggestion for you. All right. So, and slowly, it's not about me. It's not about me at all. Okay. It's about other people. It is about other people, making other people better, serving other people first. And maybe they serve you back later, or maybe they don't. We don't count on it. That's what Marcus Aurelius said. Stop asking for the third thing. Stop wanting the third thing. You did a good deed. Awesome. Why are you worried about a return? That's not why you do it. So, y'all be good. Be blessed. Make good decisions. Make good choices. I will put out a market review for the members of this YouTube channel on Thursday, tomorrow. And then we will have our next members only live stream on Friday, and we'll probably have a discussion. Probably. So, see y'all tomorrow. Let me see if this button works. Hey, subscribe if you're not subscribed, baby. All right. See y'all later.